Here's a kind of weird fact about you. Almost every animal on Earth only mates during one specific window. A season, a few weeks, whenever the female's body throws up a giant flashing "now's the time" signal. Deer rut in autumn. Cats yowl in spring. For most of the animal kingdom, mating is basically a calendar event. And then there's us. Humans mate all year, every month, every week, totally detached from whether anyone's even fertile that day. We're one of the only species alive that does this. So if you've ever wondered how often ancient humans were actually getting together, the answer is honestly way more than they needed to. Way more than almost anything else on the planet. And that one weird fact, in that we're basically always kind of in the mood, quietly shaped everything about how your ancestors paired up, who they had kids with, and even why your relationships feel the way they do today. Imagine it. No dating apps, no marriage paperwork, no private rooms, no clue what a relationship even was. Just a small band of people, a fire, and a set of instincts that are still running in the back of your skull right now. Because the real story of how ancient humans mated is so much stranger than caveman meets cavewoman. They were mating year-round with partners who weren't even the same species as them. Let's get into it. So let's start with the part that sounds made up, but absolutely isn't. Your ancestors didn't only mate with other humans. Like, at all. Rewind around 60,000 years, back when our species first started spilling out of Africa, we weren't alone out there. There were other kinds of humans already living across the world. The Neanderthals, stocky and heavy-browed, built for the Ice Age, who'd been in Europe and Asia for ages. And another group called the Denisovans, who we basically only know from a single finger bone and a few teeth. When our ancestors ran into them, they didn't just fight or steer clear, they actually mated. Enough that it left a permanent stamp in your DNA even today. And here's the part that gets people. If your family isn't recently from Africa, roughly 2% of your entire genome is straight up Neanderthal. Not kinda related to Neanderthal. You're walking around with genes from a different human species that went extinct 40,000 years ago. Genes that still affect your skin, your immune system, even how you sleep. And some people, mostly across the Pacific Islands, carry a few percent Denisovan DNA on top of that from a whole second lost species. Quick honesty check, because the comments will catch it. People of African descent carry a little Neanderthal too, just way less from groups that migrated back later. But yeah, your ancestors made it across the species line, and the proof is literally written inside you right now. How often wasn't even limited to their own kind. Now back to that year-round thing, because it leads somewhere genuinely strange. In most mammals, you can tell exactly when a female is fertile. A chimp, for example, gets this dramatic physical swelling that's impossible to miss, basically a billboard. Humans? Almost nothing you can spot. Way more hidden than just about any other ape. A human woman gives off barely any signal about when she can actually get pregnant. It's concealed even from her partner, sometimes even from herself. Scientists call it concealed ovulation. And here's the thing. Nobody's totally sure why we evolved it. There are two big theories, and they point in basically opposite directions. Theory 1, hiding fertility keeps a partner glued to you. If a guy can't tell when she's fertile, his only real move to make sure a future kid is his is to stick around all the time, which quietly nudges humans toward pairing up. Theory 2 is almost the reverse. By blurring who's fertile when, a woman could keep several men uncertain whether a kid was theirs, and a man who thinks a baby might be his is way less likely to hurt it. So it might have been protection. Both theories are still on the table. There's even a camp that says it's not some clever adaptation at all, just a leftover quirk we never lost. And honestly, the fact that scientists are still arguing about it is the real answer. We don't fully know. Okay, here's where it gets dark. For most of human history, this was not some fair thing where everyone found a partner and rode off into the sunset. Reproduction was brutally lopsided. Researchers sequenced a pile of men's Y-chromosomes, the bit passed strictly father to son, and found something startling. Around 7,000 years ago, right after farming spread, the male gene pool basically collapsed. At the extreme, the genetic diversity looks like there were 17 women reproducing for every one man, 17 to 1. Now, listen carefully, because it's the thing everyone gets wrong. That does not mean 94% of men died or got wiped out. Almost all of them lived completely normal lives. What it means is that only a tiny slice of men left behind descendants who are still around today. A handful of powerful lineage founders fathered these enormous family trees, while most men's lines just dead-ended. Their branch went nowhere. Why? The leading idea is competition between clans, powerful family groups outbreeding and outlasting everyone else. Though fair warning, a 2024 study argues you don't even need violence to get there. Just the way those patriarchal family lines were structured does it on its own. Either way, the data is screaming one thing. For a huge stretch of our past, a small number of men did most of the reproducing, and the rest left nothing behind. Winner take most. And it was baked right into the system. And it's not just that one grim moment. Zoom out across the whole human story, and the same pattern holds, just gentler. You've got roughly twice as many female ancestors as male ones. Most women who ever lived passed their genes on. Only a minority of men did. So, were ancient humans actually monogamous or not? Here's the cool part. We can make a solid guess straight from the human body, and the reason that works is kind of wild. The way a species mates puts physical pressure on the body, and over thousands of generations, it literally reshapes it. So if you know what to look for, the body snitches on the whole mating system. Two big tells. First, the size gap between males and females. When one male hoards a harem, the guys have to fight brutally for it, and bigger always wins. So, evolution blows the males up huge. That's gorillas. Males nearly double the female's size. Big size gap means heavy competition, means harems. Gibbons, though, pair off 1-to-1. Males and females basically the same size, because there's nothing to fight over. Second tell, testicle size. When a female mates with several males close together, their sperm competes inside her to reach the egg, and more sperm wins. So, free-for-all species like chimps evolve giant testicles. But where a female only mates with one guy, there's no competition. So they stay small. Gorillas have tiny ones despite all that muscle. So run it on us. Humans land right in the middle on both. Guys a bit bigger than women, but nowhere near gorilla level. And testicles bigger than the loyal apes, but way smaller than chimps. Same direction that hidden fertility thing from earlier was already pointing. And put it together, and the body points pretty clearly at one answer. We evolved for pair bonding, actual couples, with a solid side of cheating around the edges. And if you've ever wondered when cheating actually started, those mid-sized testicles are the giveaway. The only reason we've got them is that females were mating with more than one guy deep in our past. The wandering isn't modern. It's been baked in from basically day one. Not lifelong purity, not a total free-for-all. Something messily in between, which, if you've ever dated, probably sounds a little too familiar. And that's the part that actually matters for you, sitting here thousands of years later. Because none of this stayed in the past. It's still running. The pull you feel to find one person, pair up, build something that lasts? That's the pair bonding instinct, the exact same one that kept your ancestors huddled together by a fire. And that other thing, the wandering eye, the temptation, the way loyalty takes real effort instead of just happening on its own, that's not you being broken. That's the free-for-all side, the same ancient tug-of-war playing out in a body that was never fully built for one or the other. Because biologically, that's what we are, a compromise. Wired to bond and wired to stray, mating year-round, descended from a tiny lucky few, carrying DNA from species that don't even exist anymore. Your love life isn't just your love life. It's a few million years of instinct arguing with itself inside you. So next time a relationship gets complicated, or staying faithful feels like a choice you've got to keep making instead of a switch that just flips on, that's not a flaw in you. That's the inheritance. Ancient humans handed it straight down, year-round mating, messy loyalty, and all. And honestly, once you know that, the whole thing kind of makes a lot more sense. If you made it this far, you're exactly the type who'd vibe with the rest of this channel. So stick around, there's plenty more where this came from.